Unlike your ability to sleep at night, the Epstein scandal will not go away. The president denied that Attorney General Pam Bondi informed him that his name was in the Epstein file. So naturally, last night, the Wall Street Journal reported that Attorney General Pam Bondi informed the president that his name was in the Epstein file. I, for one, was shocked. What are you going to tell me next? That the Pope is in the Catholic files? That a bear is on the cover of this month's Modern Woods Pooper?
Well, he is a cruel, criminal, and mentally unstable man. And Duty to Warn was a book that came out when he was first in office. Psychiatrists across the country who don't ever really diagnose people that they don't serve personally came together and made a book, Duty to Warn, to tell the world what a narcissistic, mentally ill person he is.
American politics has always been a circus, and every circus needs clowns. But when Stephen Colbert and Rosie O'Donnell take aim at Donald Trump, it's less a comedy routine and more a demolition derby. Colbert slices with precision. Rosie strikes with raw fire, and Trump, well, he provides the punchlines without lifting a finger.
When I came back in the office, I was shocked to learn that this weekend, the biggest story was frenzied social media rumors speculating whether Donald Trump had died. For the record, Donald Trump is very much alive, okay? And we like our presidents alive.
Are you watching this moron speak? Can he form a coherent sentence? He is the worst thing that ever happened. Period. And he's just babbling like an incoherent asshole. He's like Dr. Doom. He's the worst thing. Oh, you know what? He just lies. I am done with Donald Trump.
Before we dive deeper, don't forget to hit subscribe and smash that bell icon. Now, Trump may have been president, but that never made him untouchable. In fact, he's the Alucanite buffet for comedians. Colbert peels back the layers with surgical wit, while Rosie barrels through like a wrecking ball. Together, they're the storm he never wanted brains, and the guts to mock the man who insists his name should shine in gold forever.
Why you're feeling a little bit better about America today is because Donald Trump is in Scotland. Technically, you can do that, right? You can do that. You can fix that up. Technically, he's there for trade talks with the European Union, but as always, he focused a wee bit on stuffing his kilt with cash like ground-up organ meat and a sheep's bladder.
Colbert has built his career exposing the absurdities of power butt with Trump. The material practically writes itself. It's like parodying a parody, except this parody sits in the Oval Office, firing off tweets at 3 a.m. Colbert dissects Trump. With irony and sharp timing, breaking down the hair, the hand gestures, and the carnival barking until the joke exposes itself.
The latest development in this story is that soon we may be able to see Trump's name in those files for ourselves, because last night, in defiance of the president, with a Republican majority, the House Oversight Committee voted to subpoena all documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein case in a vote of 8-2, as in.
Then comes Rosie O'Donnell, the woman living rent-free in Trump's head for decades. While Colbert teases with intellect, Rosie unloads with raw emotional fury. Her roast feels like a bar fight. She tears past the insults and tabloids too, reveal Trump's fragile ego, exposing the one thing he fears most, being laughed at.
And I think he's the worst thing that ever happened to the United States, and his cruelty knows no bounds. And when he is upset and humiliated and embarrassed, he has no control, and he goes ape shit. Can I say that? And, he is the kind of person that is a grifter, and he is an evangelical preacher to people who believe that Celebrity Apprentice was true. And Celebrity Apprentice was not true. And Mark Burnett has tapes of him.
Rosie doesn't just roast, she goes gladiator. She drags out his bankruptcies like trophies, ridicules the trail of failed ventures, and mocks his obsession with being the ultimate winner. To her, Trump isn't a mogul, he's a magician, with dead rabbits and broken tricks, still trying to wow the crowd. Every punchline is a reminder that behind the bravado lies a career of failures long enough for its own reality show.
But the biggest reason that it was different than the first time he was in office is because of the Supreme Court giving him ultimate power, the powers of a king or a monarch. And that's not what the United States is all about. And it's a terrifying prospect. And in fact, what has happened since he's taken office has been terrifying, I think, for the world and definitely for the United States of America.
Colbert, meanwhile, plays teacher to a student who keeps eating the eraser. He highlights contradictions, mocks the chaos, and exposes blunders that would have ended anyone else's career. To Colbert, Trump is the comedy gift that never stops. Giving, Rosie takes it deeper, pointing to the man obsessed with headlines, feuds, and appearances. To her, Trump isn't leading, he's performing.
The president made a big deal about how he broke off the relationship with Jeffrey Epstein a long time ago. But according to Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, he said he stopped hanging out with Trump when he realized Trump was a crook. Wow! That's extraordinary. Amazing. Jeffrey Epstein breaking it off with you because you're a crook. It's like walking into an intervention organized by Rudy Giuliani.
Together, Colbert and Rosie are the scalpel and the hammer. Colbert slices with wit. Rosie smashes with force. Trump can't help himself. His obsession with attention fuels their fire. Every insult aimed at Rosie only strengthens her. Every dismissal of Colbert only proves the point. Trump is the guy who hosts a rally, brags about crowd size, and still Googles if applause counts as love.
This whole crazy rumor started simply because Trump had 0 events on his schedule Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And one of the only signs that he might still be around was music in the Rose Garden, which the White House confirmed was the president's music. Which I gotta say is not the strongest proof of life.
Colbert calls it out Trump. Doesn't just crave attention, he survives on it like sunlight. Rosie rips off the mask, pointing to towers built on unpaid labor and gold plating that peels like bad spray tan. She compares him to a man throwing a party, forgetting the food, then bragging about how exclusive it was. Together, they expose the hollow contradictions of his empire.
I just want to say, look, I know that Trump's followers get a lot of grief from people going, no, you don't believe in anything. It's a cult of personality, blah, 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 meow, meow, meow. But I want to be fair here, okay? There is one thing that MAGA has believed from the beginning, and they still believe it. And that's that there is a secret cabal of top government officials who meet at shadowy dinners to strategize how to hide the sins of wealthy sex traffickers and pedophiles. They do believe that. And for that, I have never criticized them.
Colbert shows how Trump can't string a sentence without contradicting himself. Rosie mocks the bankruptcies swept under the rug. To Colbert, Trump's speeches sound like toddler refrigerator poetry. To Rosie, his business record looks like a yard sale, everything broken, nothing worth the price tag. One wields irony, the other raw bite, and together they reveal a president, more pageant host than politician.
We don't know if he was doing the creepy crime, but we do have a cover-up. And just like the cover-up on his face, it is patchy and there's some really ugly under there. The incriminating details just keep coming out. For instance, this resurfaced 2010 Jeffrey Epstein deposition.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Okay, that's a slam dunk. Just say no. Okay, take it away, Jeffrey.
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Rosie goes straight for the jugular. She hammers his insecurities, the orange glow, the stiff hair, the pouty teen scowl. She reminds us this is the same man who once hosted a reality show where the big moment was firing celebrities. Colbert nails the lies, calling out Trump's relationship with truth as careless as a rental car. Every poll, every rating, every crowd size all becomes roast fuel.
Was the problem with Project 2025, which the Heritage Foundation put out, and it detailed what they wanted to do. And I felt that anyone who read that would be not would not be able to sleep as an American.
What type of stuff was in that?
Well, gutting all of the social programs, as he has been doing. Just the other day, he disbanded the Department of Education. And I have a child who has autism, and that child will be denied services, and many autistic children, because the funding for these programs for special needs children comes from the federal government as well as the states.
Colbert laughs at the image of a president obsessed with TV ratings after a State of the Union. Rosie digs deeper, showing a man whose self-worth is measured by applause. Together, they drag skeletons out of his business closet, Trump steaks, Trump University, even casino bankruptcies, because who else loses money running a casino? To Rosie, he's the guy who could sell water in a desert and still end up thirsty.
Trump has deep roots in Scotland. His mother was actually born and raised there. So obviously the locals greet him with the same warmth he got from his mom. Good out, nasty little man, baby. Bolt, you nugget. Get tape, fascist nonce. Hope your next jobby is a hedgehog. And several using the old Scottish blessing, Trump is a...
The roast goes beyond politics and straight into personality. Colbert frames Trump as the only president who can make a press briefing feel like accidental stand-up. Rosie cuts deeper. Trump doesn't govern, he performs. Every move is an act. Every speech a show. When they pull back the curtain, all that's left is a man terrified of silence unless it's filled with cheers.
According to the Wall Street Journal, Trump featured several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with heavy marker. In the drawing, a pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts, and the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. Do you know what that means? That means Donald Trump has drawn pubic hair on every executive order. That is not... Is that legal? Is that legal?
Rosie leans into their decades-long feud, mocking the irony of a man unbothered who can't stop bringing her up. To her, Trump proves the loudest voices often belong to the thinnest skin. Colbert piles on with dry humor, painting Trump as a world leader acting like a Twitter troll. Together, they strip the myth away. No titan, no statesman, just a fragile ego desperate for validation, forever trapped as the punchline of a joke he can't control.